This reaction is brought to you by my $5 or more supporters at coffee.com/AlexHeitz. I'd like to thank Andreas Glacial, Steph Newtown, Mark Ventura, Cole Alexander, Ben Thrifty, and Finbar for sponsoring this video, supporting me, my family, the channel. I appreciate it immensely, and I hope you all enjoy this video. We're finally doing EPs. 1,988 to 1,991. Like, that's probably a lot of EPs, but what do I know? No, it's only 3, 4. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another reaction. We're continuing forward on our MBV binge. We had a little break for The Breeders Pod, the first album by them. Then we came back for Ecstasy and Wine, which, as you guys may have seen, I was able to put up on YouTube unedited, pretty much, because all the content on there, not in the copyright system, except for Strawberry Wine, and it identified it as a cover song, which I thought was really funny. It's literally just the exact same song. But yeah, that whole video is up unedited. Really interesting to hear the early jangle and twee C86 kind of stuff from them. Very much of the time for sure, but it was a decent listen. But now we're continuing forward into what will be a two-parter because we're doing both discs here. And it's going to be over 100 minutes long. So we are splitting this up into 2 separate videos, doing the first disc today. Also, we'll be doing, I believe I got the remastered version from 21. That also has 2 extra tracks on the second disc, and I will be doing those in the second part as well. So excited to dive in today. For those who don't know, I do unedited reactions on my Ko-fi page, coffee.com/AlexHeitz. For $5 a month, you can get access to the whole back catalog of unedited reactions. That is from Modest Mouse going forward, and that started in April of 2021. So I have about 3 years of unedited reactions worth in the backlog. You can get access to all of that for $5 a month. You can also hop in at the $1 per month level and get access to voting in polls that we do every 2 to 4 albums. Kind of breaks up the monotony of going through an artist discography binge, and we just get to interject random miscellaneous albums into the mix and keeps it kind of fun and fresh. So if you'd like to support the channel, that would be the place to do it. Also got to shout out NordVPN, affiliate link in the description. Fantastic VPN, great speeds, great prices. Been using them for years, cannot recommend them highly enough. If you are in need of a VPN for whatever reason, check them out in the description. Okay, so this is EPs 1988 to 1991. This was released in 2012, and I am going to be listening to the 2021 remaster today. So it features 4 EPs, You Made Me Realize and Feed Me With Your Kiss, and as well as Glider. Those will be the 3 that we're listening to today. Then the second disc has Tremolo, and then like a bunch of extra stuff, like some things from, we're going to be doing the instrumentals from the Isn't Anything 7-inch bonus disc. And then we're going to have some like other previously unreleased tracks on disc 2 as well. So today for part 1, we're covering You Made Me Realize, Feed Me With Your Kiss, and Glider. I am leaving Feed Me With Your Kiss off of this list because as far as I can tell, it's the exact same song. And like I've already heard it, so no need to go back to it. Everything else on here I will be doing the version of Soon from Glider because I believe it's an alternate mix. But yeah, we have 12 tracks today, 12 with 13 tracks, 12 without Feed Me With Your Kiss. And yeah, I'm very excited to dive into this one today because I know people really dig You Made Me Realize as an EP. People love Drive It All Over Me as well. Yeah, and I'm just very curious to kind of like round out their sound before moving on to the MBV comeback in 2013, because I'm kind of like hopping all over the place. I did this really out of order, but very, very cool to see all of to finally like wrap up all of their old stuff now, because like I've done their first 2 albums at this point, and then now like getting through to all of these EPs, which people say are very notable and pretty cool. I'm expecting more like experimental guitar work. I mean, even the EP's album cover here, super reminiscent of the Loveless album cover, of course. So yeah, not a whole lot to say. I don't think. I think I've kind of prefaced all of it already. I'm just eager to go ahead and hop into this one. This first section will be about 45 minutes or so without Feed Me With Your Kiss. So pretty average, pretty standard. Second disc will be a bit longer because I will have the extra tracks from the 2021 remaster on there as well, which, yeah. Anyway, that's all I got. Let's go ahead and hop right on in. First track, You Made Me Realize. This EP came out in 88, which was 1 year before Isn't Anything. Is that correct? The same year as Isn't Anything. Okay, that came out in November, and this came out in August. So they were very contemporaneous. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and hop right on in with You Made Me Realize. All right. I'm pretty sure I've heard that before. I think it was on my top 10 single streams. So for future reference, if I go to top 10, this was 88. So if you go back to video, hold on, I'm gonna find it. It's number 16. Stream number 16 is probably where that is. Because that sounds familiar. I think I've heard that riff before, but it's been a while. Pretty solid. Definitely has that like noise rock post-punk thing going on. Very akin to all kinds of other things off of Isn't Anything, for sure. I really like that kind of like acceleration and build up in the middle part, really tense, and then just goes right back in. Interesting. It's all falling into place, baby. Slow. Man, they're a little horny, aren't they? Like, I mean, it's pretty like common through their lyrics actually. It's hard to tell on Loveless because you can't hear anything, but they're a little horny. Yeah, nice. That kind of like got the baggy beat in there again. Really nice, like low. Uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Not rusty, but just like rumbly, uh, chunky guitar down there. Not bad. Yeah, not a lot to say on it. It was fine. More cool guitar texture, which I'm all for. Thorn. Sick. That was great. Not as into the verses because it's just more of that like very quick ramshackle kind of C86 jangle pop of the time. Very present on Ecstasy and Wine. Um, Not terrible though, not terrible. I've heard way worse. But like, man, that riff, man, I love like great pop hooks just obfuscated by like production and like the mixing and the instrumentation. Like I'm all for that. Like I love Candy Claus, one of the best shoegaze outfits around. Great, that's my favorite so far. Cigarette in your bed. That's pretty cool. I said this before. I really like when they toy around with the production on acoustic guitars or anything like a little bit more organic sounding. It's very compelling, very interesting. This was like, and it's like really odd because like it's almost unnatural sounding, where it's like you're getting reverb off of things that aren't even like they don't even seem present in the mix. And then things that should have reverb like don't. It's really like strange. I've never really come across anything quite like it. Um, except for the handful of tracks off of Isn't Anything, and then smatterings here and there on other things. But yeah, it's very cool. It's very interesting. Interesting. It's very unique. I don't know how. See, this is what'll be interesting to see after I've like digested all of this MBV stuff, is to see like what sticks with me and what doesn't, because it's so fascinating to watch their evolution as a band. And I'm glad that I'm finally getting to see that. But I'm like, what am I gonna like? What am I gonna like? More stuff like Thorn, I don't know. Drive It All Over Me. This everyone loves this one. Everyone has talked about this one, says it's one of their favorites. Let's check it out. Am I gonna make some enemies? I'm a little scared to say what I think. It was okay. Um, it didn't have the MBV spice that I'm accustomed to. It just seemed like a kind of standard, you know, pop song of its era. Wait, that's a harsh thing to say. It sounded very similar to a lot of other things I've heard before. Let me put it that way. It was fine, but I don't know. It's just kind of a more standard pop song, I guess. I don't know, had that post punk kind of like bass on it, and I don't know. That one just didn't really do a whole lot for me. It's kind of hard to put into words why. It just like it lacked any I don't want to say uniqueness, that's not the right word. I don't know, it kind of shot straight across the board. Maybe that's just like because of like what I've heard from MBV so far that it just didn't really like wow me. I don't know, maybe it'll grow on me. See, that's the problem. You can't like I shouldn't let like hype get to my head. I should just say what I think and think what I say. I believe. We're skipping Feed Me With Your Kiss. This. And we're going to I Believe, which is a fantastic slow dive song. Man, I'm so excited to get to slow dive. Here's I Believe. That was sick. Where did that come from? I mean, honestly, I like it more than Drive It All Over Me. I know it's technically a different EP, but whatever. Man, that was like heavy, chunky, that like chiming note, man. Also, was that Kevin singing? It's like a weird, like, slow kind of delivery. Interesting. Cool. I dig it. I also like anything that's like kind of like any type of shoegaze or noise rock that kind of has a more like neo-psych overtone, that kind of gives it that more like ethereal, from another world kind of vibe. I'm always down for that. Nice, solid, good. Emptiness Inside. Not bad. I was kind of worried at first, like when the song opened up, because when you hear stuff like this, and you're like, I've kind of heard MBV do that a lot, where it's just kind of like it sounds really interesting, but it's really just like very basic, like power chords being kind of strummed, and it sort of loops a little bit. Like Loveless is a bit guilty of that, like a little bit. But thankfully it's like so psychedelic and just kind of like dreamy that you can kind of get lost in that push and pull and just get lost in that guitar whirlpool. Here though, I felt like it had some nice like catchy hooks in there. The tone was unique enough. Like that's also one nice thing is that for as crazy as Kevin Shields' guitar work is, and how he sculpts these sounds, it's not just like, oh, I'm going to repeat the same sound over and over like Robin Guthrie does, even though it's a fantastic sound, and he is perfectly capable and deserving and is allowed to do that, and I hope that he continues to do that because it sounds so fantastic. With Kevin here, he seems to really revel in like sculpting very unique sounds for every song. There's like very little bleed over as far as like tone, texture, timbre of the guitars, timbre, um, from song to song. A lot of the compositional motifs bleed over a little bit, and that's where sometimes it gets a little samey for me, where it's like that's just a weaker version of these other two tracks that I've heard. That happens rarely here, but even less so with the production. Like every song sounds different enough from one another, but there is a cohesive MBV tone, where you play the song and you're immediately like, that is Kevin's guitar. Like you can tell. If you just played me an MBV song without telling me it's an MBV song, I could probably figure out that it is pretty quickly. So anyway, all that aside, let's go to the next track. I Need No Trust. Fascinating. Wow, that had like this weird like I don't know quite know how to describe it. For some reason it gave me like old like folklore like you would be like medieval times like being entertained by like a jester or like in a court with like a bard like singing some kind of song. Um Something's happening in the bathroom behind me. That was really cool though. Like what is it with this specific EP that like apparently no one's as into this one as much, but like they're like I really like the more experimental stuff going on here. Cool. I'm gonna move on to Soon now so that we can drown out the sounds of my daughter being upset that she has to go to the bathroom. Soon. Such a great note right there. I can't really tell much of a difference between the mixes. There's maybe like a few parts here and there where like certain things are like transitions are a bit different maybe. Um Possibly the vocals are mixed slightly differently too, or they have different effects on them. I don't know. It seems like almost identical to the Loveless one, which I might like the Loveless one a little bit more. That might be a little smoother. But there's nothing like wrong with this one at all. But it's also not really worth checking out on its own, I don't feel. But still, what a banger. Love that baggy beat, man. All right, Glider. I have not heard Glider. Let's check this out. Why? Oh, I'm not supposed to ask that. Um, very interesting, unique, and compelling, and fascinating. And I'll never listen to it again. Man, it's like it's just like a weird experimental drone. There's some industrial in there too, like just banging metallic things. I don't know, very cool, but like didn't do anything for me, I guess. I listen to a lot of music like that, don't I? Where I'm just like, won't listen to it again. Don't ask why. Sick. That was cool. I like how it like it started. It sounded like freaking like Jangle Pop, "Kiss Me Sixpence," which I just talked about on something. What did I just talk about that on? Oh, on the Darklands follow up I just recently filmed, which should be out by the time this goes up, right? Yeah, that'll come out the day before this does on YouTube actually. Um, had a that just similar like major chord to major seven kind of motif. Had the jangle on there as well. That was pretty cool though. And then like I was not expecting it to just kind of like blossom into that deeper, typical MBV sound later on. It had a nice progression, whereas usually MBV is a little more static with their phrasing. She's going at it again, where it's usually like either like A B A B A B back and forth, a la like Only Shallow, or it's just A. It's just one thing the whole time, which is very typical of baggy stuff. All right, we have one track left, everybody. Off Your Face. Cool. Lots of interesting things going on there. Again, more of the. I want to say that reminds me very much of a song off of Isn't Anything, and that's completely eluding me. Um, Gosh, very similar. Possibly another one off of Loveless too, but with the production on Belinda's vocals like that, very reminiscent of another track. Not bad. Like rotating that like riff in the outro. I don't know. I struggle with stuff like that where it's like it feels like it wants a certain resolution, but you don't really get it. Some people really dig that. I don't. Like I want eventual resolution. Um, because it's just, why not? Why? Why you doing this to me? But that's it. That's it. Disc one of EPs, covering the first three. Pretty good. Pretty good. If I had to rate the EPs in the order in which I liked them, Oh gosh, that's actually tough. Because like the "Feed Me with Your Kiss" EP, that's not bad. Um, like "I Believe," "Emptiness Inside," "I Need No Trust." Those are really interesting tracks. They're certainly not worth overlooking. Songs I wasn't into as much, obviously "Glider." I talked about that. Um, "Feed Me with Your Kiss" I don't necessarily like a whole lot either. It is a really compelling riff, but as far as that like kind of punk rock, death rock sort of thing, not my thing. Uh, I don't know. "Slow" was a little, I guess, like uninteresting compared to some of the rest here. Um, Gosh, yeah. I mean, it was all pretty solid. "Drive It All Over Me" honestly might be one of my least favorites here, if I had to be honest. Probably in my bottom five of all of these tracks that I've listened to. I'm so sorry. Maybe that'll change. I don't know. But notable ones, I loved "Thorn." "Cigarette in Your Bed" was pretty cool. "I Believe," was that the one I thought was pretty compelling? I think so. Obviously, "Soon" is a banger. "Don't Ask Why" was pretty cool. "Off Your Face" had some solid stuff, even if it did feel a little similar to some other things. Yeah, very eager to see where this goes on the last EP, and then all of the extra little bits and pieces that we got there. And then that'll wrap up all the MBV stuff as far as like all of the past content, and then finishing it out with the 2013 album, which will be cool. So yeah, this one pretty good. Really eager to re-listen to some of these here. I don't like it as much as "Loveless." I think "Loveless" has more of a cohesive tone, cohesive quality, cohesive songwriting, just better kind of all across the board. But even still, like so far, I'm realizing MBV is like not a band I love. I really like them. Some of their songs I really love, but I don't know if I love MBV. That's kind of what I'm realizing. You made me realize that, everybody. But like I have to give props where props are due. The production is always cool. The mixing of like deciding what you're going to emphasize and what you're not. I pointed that out in, what was it, "Cigarette in Your Bed." Always compelling, always interesting. And I just realized that some of my favorite MBV stuff is where like it's just an obfuscated pop song. I find that very fascinating, and I'm just a pop head at heart, you know? So that's why I prefer "Loveless" over some of the other stuff. But anyway, that is the first disc of EPs done. Eager to get to the next one sometime soon. Okay, everybody, that is all. That is all. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Things to plug, yet again, coffee.com/AlexHeitz. $5 a month, access to unedited reactions, of which this is one. Also, $1 a month gets you access to voting in the polls that we do every 2 to 4 albums. Also, got to plug the Discord. Link in the description for that. Got about 175 to 200-ish members over there. We'll post Topster charts, use FMBot, post memes. I'll announce when I live stream or post early access to reactions on YouTube, stuff like that. So if you want to join the community of me, that is where you can do it. That is it. That's all I got, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Eager to be closing out MBV pretty soon. Not that I'm like wanting to be done with it per se, but I'm very excited to get Slowdive and the microphones. And we have Nirvana coming up too, actually. That'll be a good one to get done. And I have Bleach, Nevermind, and In Utero. I should probably add the, what do you call it? MTV Unplugged. Although that's more of like a video as well as an album, so I don't know how I'm going to tackle that one. If I should just do audio or try to do like a video reaction too. I don't know how I'm going to do that. But that is a thing for a later time, everybody. That's all I got. Hope you're all doing well. I'm going to go ahead and leave. So until next time, take care, fare thee well, and Godspeed.